feel good to be back. You know, sleep in my own bed, you know, eat some real food, see the family, you know what I mean, get all that love.
Fetty Wap is finally home after 3 years in federal prison, and he didn't ease back into the scene at all. Within 48 hours, he was already back in Patterson. No security, no entourage, jumping straight into interviews like time never stopped moving. But then everything shifted when new footage popped up online that had people stunned. The clip shows Fetty looking shaken and desperate, straight up pleading with his ops not to take his life, and that moment caught everyone off guard. This wasn't the smooth comeback people expected, and the tone around his return changed fast. January 8th, 2026, Willie Jr. Maxwell II, known worldwide as Fetty Wap, walked out a free man. He had served just over 3 years of a 6-year federal sentence tied to a cocaine conspiracy case. Thanks to the First Step Act signed in 2018, he earned time off through prison programs, cutting nearly 3 years off his original sentence. At 34, Fetty went right back to Patterson, New Jersey. No hiding, no security wall, just real life. He pulled up to a family crib where 20 to 30 relatives and day one homies were waiting, chanting 1738 loud, that signature Zoo Gang call. The speakers were knocking classics like Trap Queen and 679, while everyone reminisced on the grind before the fame hit.
Yeah, man, what's up?
How you
man?
feeling, brother?
I feel good, man.
You ain't missed no push-ups, been eating your protein. Like you was taking full advantage of that time, huh?
Yeah, a couple chicken packs and tunas and all that.
See what I'm saying? How are you, first of all, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm blessed.
The welcome home vibes stretched for days with small dinners, Jersey food staples, and home-cooked plates that kept it real. His mom and siblings pulled everything together quick, and the videos flooded Instagram right away. Fetty was seen cooling out, smiling, keeping it real, saying, "I'm blessed," over and over. No extra talk, no flexing. His publicist told the press he was in a focused, grounded headspace and planned to move quietly with his people as he adjusted back to real life. Less than 48 hours after touching the streets, Fetty sat down with the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1 for his first major interview. He didn't bring up any ops, didn't hint at threats, didn't stir nothing up. Instead, he opened up about missing his kids' birthdays, doctor visits, basketball games, and first days of school. 4 years away from your kids hits different, and you could hear that weight in his voice.
I took a lot of time from them. And 4 years is a long time. You see your kids go from here to here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I miss birthdays, I miss Christmas, I miss doctor's appointments, I miss daddy day at school and shit like
Basketball games, dances, all
basketball games, football games. My son's first day of high school.
He also announced plans to start a foundation for kids with disabilities, and this part was personal. Fetty's been dealing with congenital glaucoma his whole life. He lost his left eye at just 6 months old. Doctors said both eyes could have been affected, but they managed to save one. He shared that he uses cannabis occasionally to manage pressure buildup, exactly how doctors advised.
Yeah, I had glaucoma when I was little. Matter of fact, my mother is here, actually. Mom.
Welcome to TMZ, Mom. I'm asking him about his eye right now.
How old was I when I lost my eye? This is the right answer. 6 months old. I was 6 months when I got glaucoma.
Right after his release, French Montana posted studio footage with Fetty and Max B, captioned "Zoo Gang Forever." 50 Cent had been holding Fetty down the entire bid, financially and mentally, making sure he never fell off.
50 did a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? He from day one, it was like he reached out like, "Yo, whatever you need, just holler at me." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And then it was like, where this money going? I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't used to that. I'm used to it's always the other way around.
And here's the quiet part that shocked people most. Local Patterson news reported no incidents, no static, no violence, no security problems tied to his return. The same streets that once saw chaos stayed calm this time. The city welcomed him back with mostly smooth energy, leaning more towards celebration than fear. Longtime fans threw together low-key tributes, driveway signs reading "Welcome Home Fetty," and regional hashtags started bubbling online. On the surface, it looked peaceful, almost healing. But those blocks got long memories, and not everyone forgot the past that fast. A lot of people couldn't figure out why others were expecting smoke when he touched back down. To understand that tension, you gotta rewind to what happened before they ever locked him up. March 26, 2017, around 5 a.m., a simple deli run turned into chaos. Fetty and his Remy crew slid into the 24-hour Montclair Deli on Montclair Avenue in Patterson after a late-night performance. This was a regular spot for him, somewhere he'd been hitting for years with no problems, until that morning flipped the script. At the time, tension between Fetty Wap and local Patterson rapper Raheem Thomas had been quietly building. It came from hometown competition, territorial pride, and personal slights tied to who was really going to be the face of Patterson rap. Sneak disses had already been traded through music and social media, but nobody expected things to explode in real life. Inside that deli, Thomas and his crew allegedly rushed Fetty's camp. It started with hands, then escalated fast. One of Fetty's people was reportedly pistol whipped, and another man had Fetty's signature 1738 chain snatched right off his neck. That chain meant everything to Zoo Gang, and money was taken too. Surveillance footage later showed Thomas in a bright red jacket and cap, waving a firearm inside the store. The place cleared out instantly, and the energy of those streets changed from that moment on. Fetty hit the ground as chaos fully took over, and it didn't stop there. The crew also ran off with a backpack belonging to the homie who got pistol whipped, making the whole scene feel even more out of control. About an hour after the robbery inside the deli, that tension spilled straight into the streets. Shots rang out. 3 people were hit, though nobody lost their life. 2 of the wounded were taken to St. Joseph's Regional Medical Center, while a third later showed up at Hackensack University Medical Center seeking treatment. Word on the street was that one of the injured might have been Sylvester Huffin, one of Fetty's Day Ones and an executive producer tied to RGF Productions, who may have accidentally shot himself during the chaos. That detail was never officially confirmed. Police later recovered a .45 caliber Springfield firearm from Raheem Thomas that had been reported stolen out of Colorado. They also found illegal armor-piercing and hollow-point rounds. No weapon was recovered from Huffin, and it remained unclear who else fired shots, though reports suggested members of Fetty's crew may have returned fire. Once the fight moved outside, law enforcement moved fast. Raheem Thomas, 36 at the time, was initially booked on weapons charges, but released the next day due to New Jersey's bail reform laws. That didn't last long. On March 28th, authorities picked him back up after reviewing video evidence. By March 29th, charges were upgraded to first-degree armed robbery, aggravated assault, and multiple gun charges, including possession by a convicted felon. Because of prior convictions, Thomas was ordered held in Passaic County Superior Court pending further hearings. Shortly after, he posted, then deleted, an Instagram photo showing someone masked up wearing Fetty's chain. Thomas tried to play it slick, saying he didn't personally do it, but he still kept trolling his op online. Fetty clapped back on social media too, posting pictures with brand new chains, making it clear he wasn't about to look shook or defeated. That back and forth showed just how deep the beef really ran in Patterson's underground rap scene. Raheem Thomas, known in the streets as Fuzz, was trying to rise as a rapper with strong local crew ties. The tension was never just about music. It was about territory, personal disrespect, and who was really going to control the sound and spotlight in that city. That shootout marked the peak of it all. One thing stayed clear though. Fetty Wap was never a suspect. He wasn't charged with anything. He was the victim in that situation, plain and simple. In the years after, the feud cooled down publicly. No major flare-ups, just occasional rumors and old clips resurfacing here and there. Fetty stayed focused on music and family, while Thomas dealt with legal problems that pushed him out of the spotlight. But that wasn't the only tension around Fetty's rise. Before the deli, before the fame, another conflict was already brewing, and this one hit closer to home. It came from inside his own circle, from people who claimed they helped build Zoo Gang from the ground up. That circle was the Remy Boys, also known as RGF. Remy Boys gang family, Zoo Gang, Patterson's own. This crew linked up around 2013 and 2014. The lineup included Monty, Goodad 4000, and P. Dice, whose real name is Brian White. P. Dice says he was there from day one. He appeared on tracks, in videos, and claimed he connected Fetty to key industry relationships that helped build the brand. According to him, he met Monty first in a studio, then both linked with Fetty, and the chemistry clicked instantly. They started creating nonstop.
So how long were you a part of the Remy Boys?
Day one. Day one Remy Boy, me, Fetty, Monty. We started it all together. We was all like down together, basically like homeless together, feel me? So where we just kind of like came up with that, but just building our craft, you feel me? And it took off.
When Trap Queen dropped in 2014, everything changed. The record went multi-platinum, the Remy Boys movement caught fire, and the crew signed a deal with 300 Entertainment. That's when the money started flowing heavy. Then the cracks started showing, and by mid-2015, things inside the camp were clearly off. Word started spreading about internal problems, and Fetty made it public in July 2015 through social media. In a now-deleted post, Fetty Wap said P. Dice was kicked out for allegedly finessing money from the crew's shared earnings. He accused P. Dice of pocket watching, counting everyone else's money while not putting in real work. Fetty claimed P. Dice wasn't showing up for tours or studio sessions and said he'd been covering his expenses without getting anything back. That post disappeared fast, but the damage was already done. And P. Dice didn't stay quiet. P. Dice came back swinging, claiming he was the one who started that melodic sing-rap sound in Patterson. He said he first called it ignorant R&B, a style that later became Fetty's signature.
He's my student. Him and Monty are my students. Like, their lives changed when they met me. You feel me? Like, I taught them flows, like all the original flows that Fetty, I don't know, it's like his style going in circles right now, but like all the original flows, like from the day one flows, those were my flows. Know what I mean? That was my style, but I embraced it, you feel me? Like, cause I ain't no hater.
According to him, Monty picked up on the sound first, then Fetty followed. He also admitted around 20% of his influence came from Max B, who helped shape that whole wave. In August 2015, P. Dice dropped a diss track called Trap Queen Remix, aiming straight at Fetty's biggest hit. In the song, he accused Fetty of acting brand new after he put him on and made claims about unpaid royalties and being cut out of deals with 300 Entertainment. He kept applying pressure with more records later that year, including Facts, where he laid out what he called snake moves, lack of credit, getting left off shows, and being erased from the story. He backed it up with screenshots, old photos, and messages, and fans split into sides online. P. Dice also spoke on claims made by Jersey rapper Tax G about Fetty stealing his style. According to P. Dice, Tax G's big homie pressed Fetty and the crew with an ultimatum. Choose P. Dice or deal with all of them. P. Dice said Fetty chose to cut him loose. By September 2015, reports surfaced that P. Dice filed a lawsuit against Fetty and RGF Productions, seeking over $100,000 in unpaid royalties tied to Trap Queen and other songs. The case was settled quietly in 2016 with no details made public. After the fallout, P. Dice's career took a hit. He dropped independent projects like Dice World in 2016, but they never gained real traction. He also claimed he was removed from multiple tracks on Fetty's album. Meanwhile, Fetty quietly rebranded the crew and shifted his focus, making Monty his main collaborator on records like 679 and My Way. In interviews around that time, he brushed the drama off, saying, "It's all love, but business is business," and made it clear they had to move forward. But fans noticed the tension never fully disappeared. Subtle shots kept flying. Fetty's 2015 track Decline was widely seen as a response to P. Dice, with bars about fake friends, money grabbers, and people switching up. The back and forth stayed alive. In 2017, P. Dice went on Vlad TV, claiming Fetty changed after fame, used the crew for clout, then cut them loose once the spotlight got bright. He also hinted at physical altercations, though no police reports ever backed that part up. Fetty didn't really respond after 2015, but in a 2018 interview with Complex, he spoke about learning hard lessons from bad business early in his career. Everyone knew exactly who and what he was talking about. That whole situation turned into a cautionary tale in hip-hop about crew loyalty, contracts, and how fast things fall apart when money hits. Over time, the beef cooled. P. Dice moved into low-key releases and content creation, occasionally reflecting on loyalty, like a 2020 Instagram post that had fans connecting old dots. Still, that history stayed alive. When Fetty came home in 2026, these were the same streets waiting on him. Streets where day ones can turn into ops overnight. Streets where chains once got snatched and shots once rang out. Yet this time, Fetty walked back through with no issues at all. But before the federal case, there was one more moment that showed how volatile his life had become. September 1st, 2019, Labor Day weekend in Las Vegas. Around 6:10 in the morning at the Mirage Hotel and Casino, a situation with a valet went left fast. Fetty was 28 then, fresh off performing days earlier at the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards in New Jersey alongside Queen Latifah, Redman, Naughty by Nature, and Wyclef Jean. He was riding high, and then Vegas changed everything. Things went left fast in the Mirage Valet area after Fetty got into it with a parking attendant over a routine service issue. Reports say it started over delays getting his car, access problems, or a simple misunderstanding about treatment. Words got heated, and according to police, Fetty allegedly swung on the valet. When security rushed in to break it up, he reportedly kept throwing hands, landing multiple punches on one security guard and making contact with 2 other employees who tried to step in. The valet reportedly suffered visible facial swelling, but no one needed serious medical treatment. One Mirage employee placed Fetty under a citizen's arrest, holding him and his associates until officers arrived. Las Vegas Metro Police showed up around 8:30 a.m. and officially booked him. He was hit with 3 misdemeanor battery charges, 1 for each person involved. Surveillance footage later leaked, and TMZ dropped the video in mid-October 2019. The clip showed the chaos from multiple angles outside the valet booth. Fetty could be seen stepping forward aggressively, throwing at least 2 clean shots that connected with a security guard's head before others swarmed in. Guards struggled to restrain him as shouting and fast movement filled the frame until they finally got control. The entire incident lasted only minutes. Fetty was booked at Clark County Detention Center, held for several hours, then posted bail and walked the same day. During the case, prosecutors reduced the charges to a single misdemeanor battery count tied to the security guard. In January 2020, a judge approved a deal that dropped the remaining charges, as long as Fetty stayed out of trouble and completed conditions like anger management or community service. The case closed without a conviction. No long-running beef, no retaliation, no lawsuits, and no further issues tied to the Mirage Hotel and Casino. Headlines faded, music kept dropping, but staying clean didn't last. October 29, 2021, at Citi Field, Fetty was set to perform at Rolling Loud Festival. He never hit the stage. Agents from the FBI and DEA arrested him backstage with 5 others as part of a bi-coastal drug investigation. One of the co-defendants named was Anthony Leonardi. The indictment named multiple people, including a correctional officer, Brian Sullivan, Anthony Cinci, Kevin Gunning, and Robert Leonardi, all tied to a large-scale drug conspiracy. Prosecutors alleged the group moved over 100 kilos of heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and crack through a well-organized pipeline running from the West Coast to the East Coast. According to court documents, the operation relied on commercial flights and vehicles with hidden compartments, moving product into areas like Suffolk County and Patterson between mid-2019 and mid-2020. Authorities claim the street value hit the millions, landing right in the middle of a national fentanyl overdose surge. Fetty was accused of acting at a high distribution level, with prosecutors saying his fame and resources helped the operation move smoothly. Investigators cited wiretaps and text messages as evidence. One key figure, Anthony Leonardi, a New Jersey corrections officer, was accused of abusing his position to provide protection and inside info. Fetty pleaded not guilty and was released on a $500,000 bond with home confinement, an ankle monitor, and strict travel limits. But in December 2021, things got messy again. Federal filings referenced a FaceTime call where emotions ran high after deeply personal insults, leading prosecutors to claim Fetty made serious verbal threats, an incident that later became a major factor in his legal downfall. That FaceTime call ended up being recorded, and it changed everything. Visual and audio evidence showed Fetty holding and displaying a firearm, which was a direct violation of his bond conditions. As a convicted felon, he wasn't allowed near weapons at all. On August 8, 2022, federal agents picked him up in New Jersey on a warrant for violating bond, and that $500,000 bond was immediately revoked. He was remanded to custody at Nassau County Correctional Center, then later transferred to federal facilities, including MDC Brooklyn, while his drug case moved forward. His defense argued the outburst was provoked, pointing to inflammatory comments made about his daughter's passing and accusations of snitching. Still, the court focused strictly on the violation itself, not the emotional context behind it. On August 22, 2022, Fetty pleaded guilty to one reduced charge, conspiracy to possess and distribute more than 500 grams of cocaine. That plea replaced a much heavier multi-count indictment. Then on May 24, 2023, Judge Joanna Siebert sentenced him to 6 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. During sentencing at the Central Islip Federal Courthouse, Fetty spoke directly to the court, expressing remorse and accountability. He admitted his actions hurt his community, his supporters, his family, and himself, saying he wanted to help people but made the wrong choices. He was sent to FCY Sandstone in Minnesota, a low-security federal facility. While inside, Fetty stayed focused, completing classes, substance programs, anger management, and avoiding trouble. Those efforts earned him good time credits under the First Step Act, shaving time off his sentence. On January 7, 2026, he was transferred from FCY Sandstone to home confinement under the Bureau of Prisons Residential Reentry Management Office in Philadelphia. He was back on New Jersey soil, but freedom still came with limits. Home confinement meant strict rules, constant monitoring, and no room for old block drama or past associations. It looked like freedom, but it was still federal custody, just with walls you couldn't always see. Fetty is locked into full electronic monitoring with an ankle bracelet tracking his location non-stop. Any unauthorized move alerts his probation officer instantly, and one mistake could send him straight back to federal custody. He's mostly confined to an approved home in New Jersey near family with very limited movement. Leaving the house isn't simple. Doctor visits, probation check-ins, court dates, church, or approved work like pre-cleared studio sessions all require permission in advance. No spontaneous moves, no drifting outside a set radius, and certain Patterson areas tied to his past are completely off limits. Oversight stays heavy. He has regular check-ins, surprise home visits from re-entry staff, and mandatory programs like substance abuse counseling tied to his conviction. His finances are monitored too. No new bank accounts, credit lines, or large money moves without federal approval. Random drug tests are part of the deal, and any violation brings serious consequences. Home confinement is expected to last until around November 8th, 2026. After that, he moves into 5 years of supervised release through roughly 2031. That means continued reporting, possible searches if there's suspicion, strict bans on firearms, limits on alcohol, and zero tolerance for slip-ups. These are the invisible walls around him now, keeping his past at arm's length while he tries to move forward. All these restrictions are meant to keep him steady, lower the chances of repeat mistakes, and protect the community. But what about the threats people swore were waiting on him? In his first major interview after coming home, on The Breakfast Club on January 9, 2026, Fetty didn't mention ops, old beefs, or safety concerns at all. He said the bid humbled him, taught him the real value of freedom, and helped him grow by learning to sit with silence. When asked about going back to Patterson, there was no fear in his tone, no paranoia, no names. He made it clear he wasn't about to move scared in his own city. A post shared by the Shade Room showed the same energy. Fetty thanking fans, family, and supporters like 50 Cent while laying out plans for philanthropy focused on youth, education, health, vision care, and community growth. Old conflicts stayed quiet. The Raheem Thomas situation never reignited. The peace fallout faded into history. What once looked like active beef turned into a lesson, not a war. No threats, no begging, just forward motion. If you rock with breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe to BuzzScope, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.